The alarm clock rang 40 minutes ago, but I was still lying in bed, staring aimlessly at the ceiling. I needed to get up, go to the kitchen, and make breakfast. I just didn't have any strength. I lay motionless until the door to the room creaked open slightly. Timid footsteps were heard on the carpet. The mattress sank. "Dad, are you awake? I want to eat." I lazily turned my head to the left. A mop of hair loomed over me. I forced a smile onto my face. "Yes, sunshine, I'll get up now. Go wash up." My daughter Zhenya jumped joyfully off the bed and ran to the bathroom, her bare heels thumping loudly on the floor. I was forced to pull myself out of bed again, feeling like an ancient vampire awakening from a 1,000-year slumber. I didn't open the curtains. For some time now, sunlight had been irritating me. Putting on my pants, I trudged heavily into the hallway. With every step, I swayed as if on a tossing ship. Descending to the first floor via the creaky stairs, I slipped out onto the porch like a shadow. I winced painfully and winced at the blinding sunlight. I didn't want to go outside at all, but I had to. I had to walk around the entire territory of the house, inspect it carefully, and find the gift in quotes. Since we moved to the village, someone had taken to leaving dead small animals on our property. This week, there were 2 squirrels and a ground squirrel. At first, I thought a village cat was bringing its prey, but when I found a fox carcass near the porch, I doubted it. Probably a dog. Now, every morning, I had to do a patrol. I didn't want Zhenya to stumble upon an animal with a broken neck. Walking around the house, I found no new bodies. Usually, they were placed specifically in a visible spot. In the evening, I put a bowl of milk and a few pieces of raw meat on the porch. I had to thank them for the gifts somehow. In the morning, there would be no trace of the meat, and the milk would be drunk dry. Returning to the house, I caught my reflection in a dusty mirror in the hallway. With my paleness and terrible thinness, I really did look like a vampire. I had turned into one in just 6 months. First, my parents died in a terrible accident. The car skidded on an icy road. It overturned several times, falling off a cliff. At the morgue, I nearly lost consciousness trying to recognize the mangled bodies of my beloved father and mother. My younger sister ended up in the hospital with severe injuries. Doctors were forced to amputate both her legs slightly above the knee. I practically lived at the hospital, caring for her, learning how to properly look after bedridden patients. A month after our parents' death, she was gone too. Her body couldn't cope. Shortly after my sister's funeral, I noticed my wife becoming irritable, turning cold toward me and Zhenya. I thought it was all from the nervous shock that she was grieving for my family. I promised to take my girls to the sea this summer to recover, but it turned out the reason was different. Valerie, a judo instructor where Zhenya practiced. While I was at the hospital with my sister or at work, Katia dumped our daughter on anyone she could to be alone with her lover. I didn't believe it. I thought it was gossip until I was shown photos of Katia hugging some bodybuilder. Of course, there was a scandal, hysterics from my wife, pleas to forgive her, promises she'd stop seeing him, and threats to kill herself if I left. I was a fool. I gave her a second chance, then a third, a fourth. I endured until I came home early one day and caught her with Valerie right in our bed. I didn't start a confrontation. Why? I just silently began packing my things. Valerie fled cowardly, and Katia had another breakdown. I didn't care. Then, half naked, she climbed onto the windowsill of an open window and screamed that she would jump. She demanded I stay and forgive her. I tried to convince her that I wouldn't leave Zhenya and would always help them. I said Katia was now free to do whatever she wanted. Why did she even need me? But my wife stubbornly wailed, and at some point, her foot slipped. She flew down in a flowing silk robe from the 17th floor. At her funeral, Valerie smashed my face, blaming me for his mistress's death. People urged me to report him to the police. I refused. Too much trouble. On the 40th day, when Katia's relatives and friends gathered at a cafe, Valerie showed up uninvited and knocked me down. He ran away quickly, and I asked not to call the police. I had dealt with him enough. Going to court against him was beyond my strength. I was crushed after the series of funerals, smeared across the asphalt like a formless sludge. I only wanted peace. Soon after the 40th day, my daughter and I moved to the village, to the house of my parents and sister. I could no longer stay in the apartment where Katia died. My boss understood my condition, sent me on a long leave, and then transferred me to remote work. Of course, in a house where so much reminds me of my family, it's also hard. But at least I don't smell her perfume in every corner, don't see her phantom slow fall every time I open the bedroom door. My parents' two-story cottage stands on a hill with a view of the whole village. Mom and Dad bought it 4 years ago. They didn't have much time to live in it. When I first came to this house, it seemed gloomy because of the dark brick and black roof. I remember joking that ghosts must live in it. Yes, they do now. I settled in it. My in-laws offered several times for us to live with them, but I refused, arguing that fresh air was good for Zhenya. Also, I couldn't stand the accusation in Katia's parents' eyes. They don't say it aloud, but it's clear in their burning stares. The aromas of fried bacon waft through the kitchen. I sit at the table opposite my daughter. I watch her eat eggs and toast with appetite. For me, a cup of strong coffee is enough. Food hasn't gone down well for a long time. "What are we doing today?" my daughter asks cheerfully. "I don't know." I replied dully, trying to smile warmly. My facial muscles feel atrophied. "What do you want to do?" "Let's go on a picnic." "You promised sandwiches." "Okay." I nod slowly. "I'll work a bit, and we'll go." My daughter shrieks with joy, clapping her hands. My heart feels a little warmer seeing her happy over such small things. At 5 years old, Zhenya has seen much grief. After breakfast, she runs out to the yard to play on the playground built for her by her grandfather. Local village kids have started visiting to play there. I don't mind. The main thing is that they interact with her and don't hurt her. I just don't let them in the house and don't show myself. I leave treats and sweets on the porch for them. Sometimes mothers stop by, ostensibly to watch the kids, and try to poke their curious noses into the house. I politely decline their persistent social interaction, as politely as I can. After 2 hours of work, half of which I spend watching my daughter from the window, I turn off the computer and go down to make sandwiches. I have no strength to go anywhere. But since she wants a picnic, I'll force myself out the door just to make her happy. It was windy today, so we dressed warmly and headed to the dense forest a kilometer from our house. We settled on a blanket under the swaying shadows of the trees. The wind roared in the high canopies, tossing their shaggy branches and lifting Zhenya's light brown locks, just like her mother's. "Did you bring juice?" the daughter asked, digging into the food basket. She was already munching a sandwich, smudging her right cheek. Wiping her happy face, I found the juice. I took a thermos of tea for myself. Reaching back into the basket, I suddenly felt something hard, rustling, and even prickly. Pulling it out, I found a clumsy little doll woven from straw and tied with red threads. One arm was thicker than the other. "Marushka wove this for me," Zhenya said proudly, taking the toy. "Is it pretty?" "Well," I shrugged. The answer clearly displeased her. She pouted, hugging the straw doll to her chest. Instead of apologizing, I asked, "Who is Marushka?" "My friend." Zhenya looked at me like I was an idiot. "I told you about her. Did you forget? Marushka is the tall, white one. She lives over there." Zhenya pointed to the birch trees. I raised my eyebrows. "She lives in the forest?" Just a child's imagination, I thought. After an hour at the picnic, we returned home. I sat my daughter in front of the TV and went upstairs, hearing my phone ring. It was a video call from my in-laws. I winced but answered. They wanted to see their granddaughter. "Lord Sergey," my mother-in-law exclaimed. "What do you look like?" "Just a skeleton. Like you escaped from a camp," my father-in-law added grimly. "Do you eat at least?" "I eat," I replied shortly. Zhenya talked to them for a long while. I sat out of the frame, occasionally answering. "Wait, Sergey, we wanted to talk." My mother-in-law stopped me as I went to hang up. I sighed and went into my daughter's room, closing the door. "Sergey, here's the thing." My father-in-law adjusted his mustache. "That Valerie came by recently, crying, asking for forgiveness for not saving Katya from you. Said if he'd taken her sooner, she wouldn't have jumped. We barely got him to leave. Sergey, maybe you and Zhenya should move in with us? Just until this psycho calms down. He knows your address." I shrugged. "He'd find us there for sure. It's harder here." "Maybe you're right," he nodded. "But be careful. Don't let Zhenya out of your sight." The conversation ended. I sat there for a long time, face in my hands, until Zhenya came in and silently hugged my shoulders. She's small, but she understands how sick I feel after talking to them. Late that evening, I couldn't sleep. I put my daughter to bed and went out to the porch. I watched the village lights and listened to the forest. Suddenly, I noticed a blurry white spot by the wooden fence. It seemed to be swaying. I squinted. Someone was standing there. At night, I thought of Valerie, but he wouldn't stand silently. "Hello? Do you need something?" No answer, but the figure moved closer. I stood up heavily. In the dark, I recognized a girl in a long, loose dress, hair down to her waist, wearing a wreath. I walked down to ask her to leave, but my weakness made me stumble. The stranger let out a high-pitched giggle, almost childlike. and suddenly bolted toward the forest with a laugh. She reached the trees in less than a minute. "That was Marushka," a sleepy Zhenya said from the porch. "Did you meet her, Dad?" So it wasn't just imagination. A girl really lived in the woods. "I told you about her," Zhenya exclaimed. "She's my best friend. She brings you gifts, and you throw them away." A chill ran down my spine. So it wasn't a dog. It was this girl killing animals and leaving them for us. A nightmare. I told Zhenya not to talk to her anymore, but she insisted Marushka was good. "Let me introduce you. You'll like her." "Fine." I agreed, just to keep her from crying. "When she comes again, call me." The next morning, a thick fog covered the village. I did my patrol and found a dead marten. Its eyes were glassy, ants crawling on its teeth. It didn't bother me. I'd seen worse. I bagged it and took it to the containers by the road. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the fog. I gasped. It was an old man in a raincoat. I asked him if he knew a girl named Marushka who lived in the forest. He didn't laugh. "That's no girl. That's a Mavka or a Kikimora. Watch out she doesn't lead your daughter into the woods." He told me to scatter salt around the house. Old village superstitions, I thought. The day passed normally until a heavy rain started. We stayed inside. Zhenya went to bed early. I sat at the computer and accidentally fell asleep. "Dad, Dad," a whispering voice woke me. It was past midnight. "Marushka is here." I invited her in. I froze. My daughter's hair was now neatly braided with red ribbons. Someone had touched my child while I slept. I told Zhenya to stay back and looked for something to defend us with. A step creaked on the stairs. A quiet, unfamiliar voice called my daughter's name. I grabbed Zhenya and backed toward the window, turning on a desk lamp. Thin white fingers, like spider legs, gripped the doorframe. A girl's head appeared, wearing a wreath of daisies. She was pretty, with amber eyes, until she smiled. An enormous, shark-like smile. A scar tore across her face. Her eyes turned bright yellow with vertical slits. Her skin turned gray and veined. This was no girl. "Get out," I warned. The creature looked hurt, sobbed, and vanished. I heard her weeping as she ran outside. Zhenya was furious, hitting me for offending her friend. She ran downstairs, and I chased her, my legs weak from malnutrition. I ran onto the porch. Zhenya was standing in the yard, looking at a tall figure. It was Valerie. "Uncle Valerie?" she asked. He ignored her, staring at me with pure hate. "Zhenya, come here," I croaked. I was more afraid of him than the creature. "I see you found a new woman," he spat, gesturing toward the field. He punched me in the face, then kicked me while I was down. "It's your fault she died. I should have thrown you out the window too." As he beat me, a non-human roar shook the air. Something white and tall lunged from the shadows. Yellow eyes flashed. Valerie screamed. Something wet and metallic tasting splashed my face. A severed arm hit the ground. Marushka, the creature, tore into Valerie. She threw him against the house and the fence like a rag doll. I pulled Zhenya to me, covering her ears. I watched in a daze as the creature snapped his bones and tore him apart. Before I lost consciousness, I saw her rip off his lower jaw. Dad, wake up. I opened my eyes to see Zhenya's mop of hair. It was after 10 in the morning. My in-laws had arrived. I stumbled outside, blinking at the sun. My father-in-law pointed to a dark stain on the